Knocking, boots Bruno on Miley. When I pop out like likeness. Polished, briefcase, no wallet. Just blew a bag like Scotsman. Killed that, in the AM going real fast. UK honey at the drill that Pondsman.
All right, guys, welcome to this episode of Due Diligence, where we bring you your favorite inside scoop on your favorite publicly traded companies. Now, today we're going to be doing an episode on Ferrari. We got my man TJ Millionaire Mentor here. You might see him on YouTube. You might have seen him doing this thing in the business world. But a lot of people don't know that this guy's a Ferrari racing expert. What do you call it?
Yeah, I'm a Ferrari Challenge race car driver, which means, right, I'm in the Ferrari Challenge. So motorsports is the way to advance their technology and innovation, right? Who can go the fastest, who can do it most efficiently, and that kind of thing. So Ferrari has their whole program called the Ferrari Challenge. And that's where we have this whole thing of gentleman drivers, where you have people like me, and you,
soon to be. Stay tuned on that.
That love motorsports, love racing, races against one another. And so it's a cool thing. It's a privilege to do it because it's, everybody can't do it. It's really expensive to do. How expensive is it?
How expensive exactly?
So, I don't know. Nobody's gonna like me talking about this. It's not a classy thing to talk about. But to give perspective, and it's one of the things that Ferrari does really well, is that their motorsports program is they do it really, really well. I don't know what it takes to other people. I budget about $800,000, $800 to $1 million a year to race. One of the things about Ferrari, it's a very exclusive luxury brand. Right? So one of the ways they increase, participation and purchasing of their products and parts and all of that stuff is through their motorsports programs, right? So you got all these guys out racing and things like that. And as you race, I use a set of tires every day. Right? Every day I go out, and a set of tires is $3,000. If I practice all day, that's that's 2 sets of tires. And then you're talking about brake pads and rotors and other consumable parts that you're always using, and that's just me. So that you got people out doing this all over the place. So it helps it helps get us involved and more passionate about their products, but it also helps them make more money too, I'm sure.
For sure.
We're gonna go ahead and head out to Thermal Race Club.
But wait, y'all gonna ignore this?
No, we can't ignore
Look, I gotta tell you real fast. So right here, this is a car called Spooky. It's a 12-cylinder, normally aspirated engine, and those engines are going away because of emissions and stuff. So cars like this are generally going up in value. So this was my first Ferrari ever bought. Oh man! And so it was my first Ferrari ever bought. So it's special because of that reason. So I have a hard time getting rid of it. And the color is called Rosodino. Back in the day when they used to race cars on TV, most Ferraris are what color? Red.
Ferrari red.
Ferrari red. Yep. Right? So when you saw the red cars on TV, they looked orange. So he came up with this color to combat the fact that they looked orange because this car looked red on TV. So when they put these cars in competition, they would paint them this color so that they would look red on TV. And the guy that owned this car before me is Dick Wolf. Dick Wolf is the guy that did Law and Order. And at the end of it, it says producer. Dick Wolf.
That name,
So and all the Law and Order stuff, right? So I bought it. It was on consignment. I bought it from him. I called the car Spooky because it's 12 cylinders, a lot of power, hard to drive fast. It will try to kill you. And so because of that challenge, I fell in love with the car and because of how beautiful it is. One more thing I'm gonna tell you guys. Can you guys get me talking about Ferrari, man?
That's what we're here for.
So one more thing. By the time you guys watch this video, they're dropping the next iconic, crazy Ferrari. And it's called the Icona. If they're calling it the Icona, it's bad. And it's also the follow-up to the LaFerrari. So that's what it is. The other thing is if you get that car, automatically, as soon as you get it, the car's gone way up in value. Way up in value. So anyway, that's all I know about Ferrari.
That's amazing. That's cool. That's a wealth of information.
So we appreciate that. Again, TJ, wealth information. We're gonna shoot down to the thermal racetrack. We're gonna watch TJ do his thing in his own personal Ferrari race car, Black Panther style. Can't wait to see that. We're gonna check that out, and we're gonna go just get more info on the Ferrari, man. We're gonna find out what makes Ferrari either a good company to invest in long term or maybe not so good. But we're just gonna dive in, find out more fundamentals about the company, more technicals about the stock, and we're gonna find out more about the history of Ferrari. So y'all stay tuned for that.
All your lap times. Look, okay, so we did 14 laps, okay? And we can add all these different things here, like brake pressure, for instance, engine RPM.
It's almost like a computer on wheels, man.
Literally.
Yeah.
Throttle position.
Yeah, it just tells you, is it slower or faster? I mean, really, at the end of the day, all you want to know is that faster or is that slower?
I'm not now searching in my head what's faster, if I should do this.
Right.
I already know that's faster.
That's faster.
So then I don't have to go.
Iron out what you have to do.
Because what happens is you get faster, you get more comfortable, then you're like, huh.
So what I like about what you said though is just like, you know, being able to kind of go into the race with a game plan of knowing exactly what you need to be doing. So then it just becomes a matter of how well you follow the game plan that you had going into it, down to the very minute detail. It's something that we talk about a lot even in trading. It's like if you trade without a plan, you know, a lot of people just start trading and then they start losing money because they're just doing it just to do it.
Yeah, they don't have
You have a plan of execution, it's different. Thank you so much, bro.
Hey man,
Appreciate you.
sure, we'll see you guys around for sure.
For
Yeah,
man,
nah, for
definitely.
sure, man.
All right, man.
Appreciate you,
crazy.
man. That's really dope, man.
Nah.
Thank you,
Well,
man.
man, good talking to you, man. I don't know if you got what you needed.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
you got a
man.
lot from
For
me.
sure, man. Yeah. I mean, we'll be.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning.
All right, guys, so listen, we had an amazing time racing with our boy TJ Millionaire Mentor, man. Shout out to you, dude. Amazing stuff what he's doing there.
Right.
To see this guy go after his passions the way he has so far in the Ferrari racing world has been phenomenal. So now we're gonna go ahead and dive into the facts of the company, the facts of the stock itself, and let's find out how Ferrari got to be the powerhouse of a company that it is today.
Right, so Ferrari was actually founded by a gentleman named Enzo Ferrari. Now, Enzo Ferrari was born in Modena in 1898. Enzo Ferrari is known as one of the pioneers in the car industry. He traveled the world with his racing team, just different countries, sorting after the best and the very best of Ferrari racing members. And then through that experience, he was able to take that Ferrari brand to the next level.
Now, speaking of the Ferrari brand, Ferrari has built one of the most, how do I even say it? Committed brands, the most powerful brands in the world. When you see that Ferrari red, right now we got the yellow Ferrari, right?
Yeah.
But I think everybody across the board knows that Ferrari red. They have been masters of branding and masters of building the luxury component of the company as a whole. When you see people out there who drive Ferraris, it's almost like a cult.
Right.
It's like a religion, right? So being that they've been able to do that, that has translated extraordinarily well over to the financial aspect of Ferrari, because even now in 2021, they actually have had record profits from beat all companies' profits in the past, 50 odd plus years, right? They've made the most money this past year. And why was that? We're about to find out right now. So this past year, 2021, Ferrari has actually posted double-digit growth in sales. I mean, these guys have absolutely crushed it, shipping over 11,000 vehicles this year. And if you can just imagine, most Ferraris range from anywhere from 200,000 to even up to $1 million plus for one vehicle, right? So just the fact that they've been able to sell that many cars has been absolutely phenomenal. Not to mention, here's the thing, they've been able to sell so many cars and generate a lot of top line revenue, but their net profits have been smaller due to higher research and development costs. Now, I suspect that's because they're looking at a lot more electric vehicles or looking to break into electric vehicle space. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Ferrari pushing out an EV in 2022 or 2023.
Enzo Ferrari and his son Piero Ferrari sold 50% of the company to Fiat. Now, Ferrari as a major brand also still relies on other people's money, OPM. Even all these big brands, when you go back deep into their history, you always find that other people end up investing in these brands. They sold so much of the company as to they only were able to retain 10% of the company, just with them, Enzo Ferrari and his son Piero Ferrari, which is crazy to think, because you would think, why would you let 90% of your company go? Sometimes that's just what you got to do in order to make sure that your company stays alive and stays thriving.
That being the case, keep in mind though, man, 10% of a watermelon is much bigger than 100% of a grape, right? So when
Man,
a lot
that's
of people,
a gem.
A lot of people don't. They think about it like, oh, I want to hold on to everything.
Right.
But if you can bring on the right partners with the right capital to help scale and grow your company, that is a massive lesson to learn. A lot of our entrepreneurs out here have had a difficult time getting that, getting that concept down. But again, man, it's all about collaboration over competition.
Yes, sir.
Now, another interesting fact about Ferrari, man, going back to the branding, one of Ferrari's largest profit centers has actually been their merchandise. Merchandise for Ferraris generated over $1.26 billion just last year alone, ranging from everything from little toy cars to T-shirts. And matter of fact, get my man right here. This is a prime example of what I'm talking about. All the Ferrari merch, Ferrari gear, Ferrari hat.
Everything, top down.
That's what we're talking about when we're talking about merchandising. When you see Ferrari drivers or people who just love Ferrari as a whole, a lot of times they are decked in head to toe along with the car itself, right? So that's something to keep in mind, that when a car brand can generate over $1 billion just from things like merch, right? Like merch.
Merch.
Like merch, okay?
No pun intended.
Like merch. So all you cheaters out there, make sure y'all support the merch, man. Y'all grab you some Chico gear, Chico products, Shameless plug on the Chico flashcards. Make sure you get you some so you understand the technicals and all that. But, let's get back to Ferrari.
Right. MVST.shop. Since you didn't say, I'll say. MVST.shop.
Link in the bio below, man.
But back to Ferrari, man. Ferrari, especially when you take Ferrari race team drivers, these guys work at an exceptionally high level. Ferrari as a company, however, compared to other companies that are in the space like Toyota and things like that, they take a massive, market share when it comes to high ticket sale. They mainly operate on the high ticket sale items of things. You see your regular cars on the day-to-day. Sometimes you just need to have or enter the high ticket sales, space in order to be able to, operate at a high level and be a successful brand at the highest level possible.
So all that was great. We learned a lot about, company Ferrari as a whole, et cetera, right? But now we're gonna dive into the bullish and the bearish case for Ferrari, right? Now, I love the car. Nobody can complain about that car. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of machinery. However, as far as the stock itself, I myself am slightly bearish on this particular company. I don't see us going much farther for the rest of the year, but my illustrious partner here feels like a little bit different.
Bullish.
He feels a little bullish, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna dive into the bullish and the bearish case. Why don't you go ahead and give him the bullish case, and I'll hop into the bearish.
All right, so now the bullish case is that Ferrari is entering the metaverse. You heard me, they're adapting. Companies that adapt and do not turn into dinosaurs usually end up doing really, really well, because adaptation in the market is extremely important. Now, Ferrari's talking about getting into the NFT space, also getting strongly involved in the Web 3.0 space. Now, on top of that, Ferrari had a record-breaking year in 2021, and it looks like they're still continuing with these, massive amounts of orders going out start of 2022. Now, as a fan and, as a personal, unbiased opinion, I've looked at the stock, I've looked at their fundamentals. I personally like the company a lot because of everything they do, and they also mainly focus on user experience. They have an awesome Ferrari world that they built in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, which is something that people are massively flocking to as far as like user experience. If you've been to Dubai ever, everything there is all about the experience. So I am super bullish on Ferrari, and I would highly suggest that you definitely go check it out and make your own, or do your own due diligence.
Do your own due diligence, right?
What do you think?
All right, so real quick on the bearish case, man. Look, again, like I said, I love the car. However, bearish case, to me, luxury brands have done extraordinarily well in 2020-21, but there's a larger economic issue at play, in my opinion. When we look at the value of the dollar and what's happening there with the massive inflation and higher interest rates coming down the pipeline, I think the value of the dollar is going to have to start going up at some point soon, which is going to put a tighter restriction on what people can purchase with those dollars, because things are going to start to get cheaper and loans are going to start to get more expensive. So things like luxury goods, I'm not a huge fan of going into 2022, as well as the fact that we're trading at a 45x price to earnings ratio currently, which for a tech company isn't too bad. However, for a product company like consumer good, especially a consumer cyclical good, where it's not something that is needed, right? This is something that people just want with their discretionary income. I think they're going to have a hard time continuing their growth that they've had over the past few years, right? So that being the case, I would take a neutral to bearish stance on Ferrari. It's not a company I would put a whole lot of money into expecting a lot of return going forward. However, again, do your own due diligence, right? That's what we're here for. So you guys, we had a great time, checking out the Ferrari car, the Ferrari stock. I appreciate everybody for tuning in with us. And as always, make sure you
tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Like, comment, subscribe, man. Do your own due diligence. We out of here.
Just give me the cheat code, and none of the struggles come with the glory. Tell them to keep those. All of the pain just come with the game. I treat them like free throws. All of the evil sticking around, I had to delete those.